All right.
All right, we are changing direction. We had a whole session planned today. We realized that some of our members will not be attending, so we actually realized it might be better to change the plan. So we're going to do a very fast design session for our mastermind with a reduced number of members, right? So Rob, what are we going to do instead of what we had originally planned?
Yeah. So what we're thinking about is, who's coming and what are the things that would serve them the most. So always, whenever you're designing anything, you're designing with the participants and the participant experience in mind. So that's like fundamental to it. So we've got 90 minutes and we know right now, Kimberly White is coming. Kimberly Elaine is coming. Tom is coming. And we're pretty sure most of the other members have something else going on that will prevent them from being able to make it. They sort of texted us at the last minute. This is going to happen, by the way, whenever you're running a mastermind or a group session, and you have to have enough groundedness in the system that you have, in the ability to start with the GPS, the Alive. You kind of know what the basic framework structure is. And your ability to just pivot at the last minute. So that's what we're doing. We've got maybe 10, 15 minutes to design the next session. So just that with the preamble, probably, and Daniel, we can just brainstorm what would be most useful to people. I've had, there's a couple things. So one basic one is we can just do hot seats for people. Based on what it is that they're working on right now. And that could be super useful because each person probably has a specific question. So we could create space for them to go to the ultimate gonna-dos, and that will help them think, what are they focused on right now? What are the key actions they need to take? So if we run a playbook through the ultimate gonna-dos, which is one of the things that eventually in the mastermind, a lot of people have said they want that level of accountability. But the reason that that's good is it helps to focus them on what's next for them, which then leads immediately to what questions people have.
Yeah, if we start with the ultimate gonna-dos, that's good. It's a good 10-minute exercise.
Yep.
Activities. So why don't we can do a quick GPS, do an ultimate gonna-dos, and then people are in touch with what they're working on. And then out of all of that ultimate gonna-dos, they know their action, but they also probably might realize what is it that they need help with in their goals and their needle movers and their, so then we say like, now we're going to do an advanced connective hot seat. Right. And we run through the ACH framework. And then it's a good teaching opportunity for them again. Hey, if you didn't remember what the ACH framework was, we're going to do it again today. And then we just explain the instructions. We can even show the slide if we want to. And then each of the three of them will have a chance to be hot seated, because then we'll have like an hour. They each get 20 minutes. And the whole group learns from them. So I like that, like GPS, ultimate gonna-dos, advanced connective hot seat, and then we'll do an Alive ending. And we have some announcements too, but and then after that we'll do the debrief after that. So that could take 90 minutes, right? So, and each of the hot seats may be plus or minus. So hey, that's a whole session plan there, right?
Yeah. So
we're gonna paste that in the chat here so we know what we're doing. But what GPS are we going to do, Rob?
Yeah. So there's two things that we could do with that, and this normally wouldn't be in a design, but because we're working with people who have done their own and are practicing this, we could just say who has one that they have loved to do that they'd like to run us through. And so we can get lean on the participants, which gives them a greater experience of it. So that's one option. We might have a backup just in case.
Let's have a backup. Here's what we do, Rob. We say, hey, we have a GPS plan, but if anybody has one that they would like to run that's coming up in a session that you're going to do, or that you've been thinking about and you just want to run it on the fly and try it out, if you have your plan already, we're way open to you guys doing that for us, right?
Right.
And again, a reminder that GPS is not necessarily an activity. It can be a series of things that happen early in the session, right?
Right.
But if they have a GPS activity, a full one planned for everybody, we can have them run it as a opportunity. So let's call that a collaboratively selected GPS, participant executed exercise or something.
Right.
That doesn't create a good acronym, I guess, but we'll have some name for that, right? Like, and you can do this in your groups too, which is like, if you want your participant to do something because it's part of what you're doing, and that would be a really good learning opportunity for them, you can have a participant-led activity, right? So let's do that. Make the GPS either a participant-led activity by their choice, or do our backup one that we have planned. Okay. And we have one planned for this today. We want to say that for next week and then do a different one today.
Yeah, I think the one that we had planned for next week is a good lead in to the sharing exercise that we were doing. So they kind of go well together. So I would table that. Let's do that next week when most people are participating, and let's do something a little different this time.
Yeah, agree. So in terms of the backup, which type of GPS do you want to do?
We've done a couple of meditative ones. So probably this one, we would want to do something energizing with people.
Yep.
So what would be a good energizing one? It doesn't
You
have
know,
to-
we could do something like what I do with some clients sometimes is we do a cupping, you know, and that is a grounding activity because you're getting centered with your body and everybody's participating together. There's so many parts of grounding there. And you know, also do some stretching. That's a very fast grounding activity that actually is effective.
Yeah.
And what I would do is I have them breathe through their noses the entire time, just from a physiological point of view. So we could just make that a grounding activity.
Yeah, actually, a breathing exercise we haven't done in a while, but I really like the idea because we can control so much fight or flight with our breath. And it's good to know because, like, I'll just say for myself, and I think Kimberly's the same thing. She's about to go on a trip. I just came from, you know, a very eventful in a poor way trip. So like I could feel like I could use some grounding. And so like even just tying in a group, there's one thing to note about, which I don't fully understand, but when you're doing a grounding in a group situation, the energy that's exchanged in the group actually helps you ground more. Like if I were to do the same breathing exercise on my own versus doing it in a group, the group is far more effective.
Yeah, that's a synergy that a group can create, right? And synchronization is the word I like to use for that. Reminds me, if we're going to do a participant-led GPS around breathing, which of our three people would be the best to run one of those? Who knows one? I'm going to guess Kimberly White might be willing to, but Kimberly Elaine definitely would. And Tom might have something. We haven't pick somebody, text them and say, hey, would you be willing to run a breathing-related GPS activity for us?
Yeah. I know Kimberly White has a session running right up to this, so we might text Kimberly Elaine and Tom.
Yeah, Tom might have one in his pocket too. So
yeah, all right, I will.
And actually, you can start with a breathing activity and then hand it off to someone for the GPS anyway.
Yeah. We're doing a breathing exercise as a yes for us. I guess I don't really need to narrate what I'm typing, but I just did.
That's funny. Did you ask them if they were willing to do a GPS following that?
Yeah, that's what I said. A breathing exercise as a GPS. So
perfect. Okay, great. And if they say yes, then they're number one. They're getting practice. They're leading the group, and they're executing a GPS, right? And we can debrief that for them too.
Yep. Kimberly Elaine said she's open to it. What kind of exercise would you like?
Just say a grounding exercise and then put a positive frame and a share in it, and we'll debrief it for you. Right? That's the value to her, right? And to the whole group, to be honest. And everybody can use that activity.
Yeah.
Right?
Should we name anything or suggest to her like the box breathing, a breathe in and hold?
I think she's experienced enough. You can say the grounding type breathing exercise, followed by some type of positive frame and a share. We're gonna have just let her know we'll have five people approximately, and just tell her how long she has, so she can do this in less than 10 minutes, or maybe let's say 8. Let's give her 7 minutes. Right, for the whole activity.
Okay.
Remember, exact times. You need to know how long you have for the activity from our design framework. All right. Okay, that'd be good.
Also saying she also made the comment that if we want, she can jump on the Zoom call now with us too. If we want.
Have her jump on. She can join our little recording here.
Okay.
And it's like a bonus design session that we created. We can send that to our members. Maybe we'll even post it to our YouTube. And then people can see her designing with us. But like even before she jumps on or does this, we've got our GPS now. So we come on after a couple minutes. We have our little table setting, but then we'll have Kimberly do the GPS. Then we'll put a little debrief in. So we have GPS, then we have a debrief. Then we're going to run people to the Ultimate Gun to Do's, right? We need the link for that. And then we have the active the ACH, and then the Advanced Connected Hot Seat activity, and then we'll do a live ending.
Perfect. Do you
And-
have easy access to the ultimate gonna do's of the
I
Advanced
do.
Connected Hot Seat? We could actually pull them up and review them. I think that would be super useful because not everybody has that locked in their
Right.
brain.
So Kimberly, hi, good to see you.
Hey,
We are recording right now. We changed our design for today, and we're just doing a quick recording to explain to you how we designed the session for today as a change. And part of it was doing a different GPS, and then we realized a participant-led GPS would be great. And so then we texted you. You're like, "Yeah, I'm in." So now you're here. We're going to really quickly talk through that as a design, part of this video, and then we're going to stop the video, and then we'll maybe post that to our Facebook group for the mastermind, or maybe YouTube or something. So this is a learning opportunity for those watching as well.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being willing to do our GPS today. So we're thinking, I'm just going to share like what we're thinking, and then you can take it where you will, which is we're thinking about 7 minutes, and it's going to be some sort of breathing GPS where we do grounding type breathing. If you have a good breathing exercise you can bring up, that'd be great. We're going to debrief it for you too. So if you want to try something new, it's a great opportunity. And then obviously put some element of positive frame and share in this here. So we can just talk through that really quick. What are you thinking?
So what pops in my mind is play.
Mm-hmm.
So as a positive frame, and I'm just talking out loud because this is like spur of the moment. All right. So a breathing exercise to get us grounded, and a virtual walk through our life on times when we were the most playful.
I love it. I love it. That's so perfect. You know what I love too that just happened to me? I realized that because we're redesigning, I'm getting a little bit of stress and tension because we have a time pressure. This is one of my kryptonites. And so you came on and you were a lot calmer with your energy. And so it's reminding me that I need to just slow myself down. So the energy that you bring as a facilitator is really important. You got to pay attention to what's happening. And Kimberly, thank you for highlighting that right now. So when we do our pre-flight meditation, me and Rob, and now you, we'll remind myself doubly to come down off the energy high of like fast designing, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I love that. So think of a time about playing your life. You can narrate that, and then you have people share whichever way you'd like to. We'll just trust you to do that. And that is our design. So Kimberly, here's the design for today. A reminder for whoever's watching this on the recording. We're going to do our quick table setting, and then followed by our GPS, which is a participant-led GPS by Kimberly around the concept of breathing and play. And then from that, we're going to go to our ultimate gunner news for everybody to get them in touch with what's really important. And also lead into the next activity, which is going to be the Advanced Connected Hot Seat activity. And then each of the 3 members that are present are going to get a chance to be hot seated on whatever is really important. And when you do the ultimate gunner news, you actually, not only do you get your one list action, but you also get really clear on what all the things that are on your plate and on your goals are. And so you might realize what the thing you need help with and support on is. And so that's when we're going to do the hot seating. And then after that, we'll do a live ending, and then we'll do our session debrief. And that was our session design on the fly. And so this is really, honestly, I think this was what, 15 minutes, Rob?
Or even less. Yeah, like if we hadn't even, like if we didn't stop and narrate some of what we're doing, like the design part was 5 minutes. Like literally we designed in 5 minutes. So
yeah, it's a good reminder for us, Rob, that we need to spend less time designing everything. But we love designing. We like putting a lot of good work into that to the level that we can create a really powerful experience too, and try new techniques and share them with the group. So yeah, there's a reason why our designs take so long to make, but
well, and the fact is that your designs, because you've already designed and spent a significant amount of time on your opening and your closings, that you have the bookends solid. So literally each session, you're only focusing on the center, and then you align the opening and closing with the center, with the outcome you want. So it speeds that up because you've already did the heavy duty design work on the opening and closing. So now you're riverbanked.
Exactly. And we were just talking about this concept about what are the unique elements of your session, right? And just to round out this video here, The unique elements of your session is what you're designing for the main experience. But then you have your GPS and your live ending and your bookends that are always going. You can do that in many different ways, and you have lots of flexibility there. But if you have the confidence to know what that means, you don't have to worry about the openings and the endings, right? You just have the center part of it. And we just did that. We just designed the whole center part and we know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to get innovative, then take a little more time and design it. But part of our design framework, Kimberly, that we're developing even further after the 6-week program is around this element of when you're crafting your sessions, what is the unique elements? And that's going to be part of our framework there. So we'll get to that at some point, but that's a really great observation that we're also thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we realized what we were doing. And it was interesting because I was having a discussion of, sometimes how long it can take to design with Kimberly White. And I realized it's like what we're actually doing each time is we're thinking about the unique elements of the design, knowing that the beginning and the end are there for us. And once we know what first outcome for the participants, and then what's the unique design to achieve that outcome in the middle, then you go back and you design the beginning and ending elements based on that center thing. So like what supports, what GPS leads into the main body of the session. And then in the live ending, what helps close that out and makes people feel complete with the middle experience. So you're always designing the middle experience at the very beginning. Like that's the first thing you think about as you're creating your design.
Yeah, you start with the end in mind, and then you start with the middle in mind.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna stop the recording here, Rob, so we
Okay.
can encapsulate that amazing video for people
Got it.
and share it.